In recent years, the term quiet quitting has surged into the global lexicon, sparking heated debates across social media, corporate boardrooms, and casual workplace conversations. Coined to describe employees who perform only the bare minimum required of their job, fulfilling their duties without going above and beyond, avoiding overtime, and disengaging from non-essential tasks. Quiet quitting has been both vilified and celebrated. To some, it signals laziness, a lack of ambition, or a passive-aggressive rejection of workplace responsibilities. To others, particularly younger generations like Millennials and Gen Z, it represents a bold act of self-preservation, a reclaiming of personal boundaries, and a rebellion against the toxic hustle culture that glorifies overwork at the expense of well-being. This article delves into the psychology of quiet quitting, exploring its roots, implications, and significance in the context of the modern workforce. Is quiet quitting merely a symptom of disengagement, or is it a profound awakening to the value of self-worth? Through psychological theories, empirical research, real-world case studies, and cultural analysis, we will unpack this phenomenon, offering a comprehensive perspective on how it is reshaping the way we work and live. By examining the motivations behind quiet quitting and its impact on individuals, organizations, and society, this exploration aims to bridge the gap between critics and advocates, shedding light on a movement that is redefining the meaning of work in the 21st century. Defining quiet quitting. Quiet quitting, sometimes referred to as working to rule, is the practice of adhering strictly to the terms of one's job description without investing additional effort, time, or emotional energy beyond what is contractually required. Unlike traditional quitting, where an employee leaves their job outright, quiet quitting involves staying in the role but mentally and emotionally disengaging from the extra mile. This can manifest in various ways: declining to work late or respond to emails outside office hours, avoiding participation in voluntary projects, team-building activities, or company initiatives, prioritizing personal life over work-related demands, such as skipping optional meetings to focus on family or hobbies, maintaining a neutral, professional demeanor without expressing enthusiasm or ambition for career advancement. The term gained traction in 2022, propelled by viral TikTok videos and social media discussions, particularly among younger workers who shared their experiences of setting boundaries in response to burnout and workplace dissatisfaction. A 2023 Gallup study found that approximately 50% of U.S. workers could be classified as quiet quitters, highlighting the scale of this trend. The cultural context. Quiet quitting emerged against a backdrop of significant cultural and economic shifts. The COVID-19 pandemic, which began in 2020, fundamentally altered the workplace. Remote work, layoffs, and heightened job insecurity exposed many employees to the fragility of their roles, while the Great Resignation saw millions leave their jobs in search of better opportunities or lifestyles. These events prompted a collective reevaluation of work's role in life, particularly among younger generations who prioritize mental health, work-life balance, and personal fulfillment over traditional markers of success like promotions or salary increases. At the same time, the rise of hustle culture, epitomized by mantras like rise and grind, and glorified by entrepreneurs and influencers, created unrealistic expectations for constant productivity. This culture often equated overwork with dedication, leaving employees feeling pressured to sacrifice their well-being for their careers. Quiet quitting can be seen as a counter-movement, challenging the notion that self-worth is tied to professional output. Why it's polarizing. Quiet quitting has sparked intense debate because it challenges deeply ingrained societal norms about work ethic and success. Critics argue that it undermines organizational goals, weakens team dynamics, and reflects a lack of commitment. Managers and employers often view it as a betrayal of the implicit social contract that expects employees to go the extra mile for career growth or company success. On the other hand, proponents see quiet quitting as a healthy response to exploitative workplace practices, such as unpaid overtime, lack of recognition, or unrealistic performance expectations. For many, it's a way to reclaim agency in environments where loyalty is rarely reciprocated with job security or fair compensation. This divide highlights a generational and cultural clash between traditional work values and the evolving priorities of the modern workforce. Theories of motivation. To understand quiet quitting, we must first explore the psychological mechanisms that drive workplace behavior. Several motivational theories provide insight into why employees might choose to disengage. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow's theory posits that human motivation is driven by a hierarchy of needs, from basic physiological requirements to self-actualization. In modern workplaces, many employees feel their basic needs, e.g., fair pay, job security, or psychological needs, e.g., respect, belonging, are unmet, leading to disengagement. Quiet quitting may reflect a shift toward prioritizing higher-level needs, such as personal growth or self-worth, over unreciprocated loyalty to an employer. Herzberg's two-factor theory. Frederick Herzberg distinguished between hygiene factors, e.g., salary, company policies, and motivators, e.g., recognition, meaningful work. Poor hygiene factors can cause dissatisfaction, while motivators drive engagement. Quiet quitting often occurs in environments with inadequate hygiene factors, low pay, toxic management, or lack of autonomy, prompting employees to withdraw effort from tasks that no longer feel rewarding. Self-determination theory, SDT emphasizes three core psychological needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Quiet quitting may arise when these needs are thwarted, such as when employees feel micromanaged, low autonomy, undervalued, low competence, or disconnected from colleagues, low relatedness. By setting boundaries, quiet quitters assert control over their work experience, prioritizing their psychological well-being. Burnout and mental health. Burnout, characterized by emotional exhaustion, cynicism, and reduced efficacy, is a key driver of quiet quitting. A 2022 Deloitte study reported that 77% of employees had experienced burnout at their current job, with younger workers particularly affected. The relentless demands of hustle culture, coupled with stagnant wages and limited career progression, have left many feeling drained and disillusioned. Quiet quitting can be seen as a coping mechanism, a way to protect mental health by disengaging from a system perceived as exploitative. Psychologists like Dr. Christina Maslach, a leading burnout researcher, argue that chronic workplace stress erodes intrinsic motivation, leading employees to adopt survival strategies like quiet quitting to preserve their energy and identity outside work. Generational differences. Quiet quitting is often associated with millennials, born 1981 to 1996, and Gen Z, born 1997 to 2012, who bring distinct values to the workplace. Unlike baby boomers or Gen X, who often prioritize job stability and loyalty, younger generations emphasize work-life balance. A 2023 LinkedIn survey found that 63% of Gen Z workers prioritize work-life balance over salary. Quiet quitting reflects this preference, as employees set boundaries to protect personal time. Purpose and authenticity. Younger workers seek meaningful work aligned with their values. When organizations fail to provide purpose or transparency, employees may disengage, viewing extra effort as futile. Mental health awareness. Gen Z is notably vocal about mental health, destigmatizing discussions about stress and burnout. Quiet quitting aligns with this ethos, framing boundary setting as an act of self-care. These generational shifts highlight a broader cultural move toward redefining success, with quiet quitting serving as both a symptom and a catalyst. The case for laziness. Critics of quiet quitting argue that it reflects a lack of work ethic, responsibility, or ambition. From this perspective, quiet quitters are seen as shirking duty. By refusing to go beyond their job description, employees may burden colleagues or hinder team performance, fostering resentment. Undermining growth. Career advancement often requires initiative and visibility. Quiet quitting may limit opportunities for promotions or skill development. Cultural decline. Some fear that widespread quiet quitting signals a societal shift toward mediocrity, where excellence is deprioritized in favor of minimal effort. This view is rooted in traditional work values, which equate effort with merit and loyalty with reward. Employers, particularly in high-pressure industries, may see quiet quitting as a threat to productivity and innovation. The case for empowerment. Conversely, advocates frame quiet quitting as a powerful act of self-worth and resistance against systemic issues. Reclaiming boundaries. In an era of constant connectivity, where work emails invade personal time, quiet quitting restores balance by enforcing clear boundaries. This aligns with psychological research on the importance of recovery time for sustained performance. Challenging exploitation. Many quiet quitters cite unfair compensation, lack of recognition, or toxic management as reasons for disengaging. By refusing to overextend themselves, they protest workplaces that prioritize profit over people. Redefining success. Quiet quitting rejects the notion that self-worth is tied to productivity. Instead, it emphasizes holistic well-being, valuing relationships, hobbies, and personal growth alongside work. From this perspective, quiet quitting is not about doing less, but about doing what matters most, prioritizing mental health, authenticity, and purpose over external validation. A middle ground? The truth likely lies between these extremes. Quiet quitting can be both a reaction to dysfunctional workplaces and a strategic choice to protect one's energy. However, it risks becoming a passive approach that limits personal growth or alienates employees from meaningful opportunities. The challenge is to balance self-care with engagement, advocating for systemic change while fostering a sense of purpose within the workplace. On individuals, quiet quitting has profound psychological and practical effects on employees. Positive impacts. Reduce stress. By setting boundaries, employees report lower levels of burnout and anxiety. A 2023 study by the American Psychological Association found that workers with clear work-life boundaries experienced 20% less stress. Increased autonomy. Quiet quitting empowers individuals to control their time and energy, fostering a sense of agency. Focus on personal growth. Freeing up time allows employees to pursue hobbies, education, or relationships, enhancing overall life satisfaction. Negative impacts. Career stagnation. Disengagement may reduce visibility and opportunities for advancement, particularly in competitive industries. Social isolation. Avoiding team activities can weaken workplace relationships, leading to feelings of disconnection. Guilt or conflict. Some quiet quitters experience internal conflict, feeling torn between personal values and societal expectations of hard work. On organizations, quiet quitting poses both challenges and opportunities for employers. Challenges. Lower productivity. Teams with high rates of quiet quitting may struggle to meet goals as discretionary effort declines. Morale issues. Disengaged employees can create a ripple effect, lowering team morale or fostering resentment among those who continue to overperform. Talent retention. Organizations that fail to address the root causes of quiet quitting risk losing talent to competitors offering better cultures or benefits. Opportunities. Cultural reflection. Quiet quitting signals the need for change, prompting organizations to address issues like toxic management, unfair pay, or lack of flexibility. Employee-centric policies. Companies that respond with empathy, offering mental health support, flexible schedules, or meaningful recognition, can boost engagement and loyalty. Innovation. A workforce that prioritizes efficiency over overwork may inspire leaner, more creative processes. On society. At a macro level, quiet quitting reflects broader societal shifts. Redefining work. The movement challenges the Protestant work ethic and capitalism's emphasis on productivity as a measure of worth, sparking discussions about universal basic income, shorter work weeks, and alternative economic models. Mental health advocacy. Quiet quitting normalizes conversations about burnout and self-care, destigmatizing mental health in professional settings. Generational divide. The phenomenon highlights tensions between older generations, who value loyalty and sacrifice, and younger ones, who prioritize flexibility and authenticity. Bridging this gap will shape the future of work. Workplace dissatisfaction. Quiet quitting often stems from systemic issues within organizations. Unfair compensation, stagnant wages, despite rising living costs, erode motivation. A 2023 Pew Research study found that 60% of U.S. workers feel underpaid relative to their contributions. Toxic management, micromanagement, lack of trust, or favoritism can alienate employees, prompting disengagement. Lack of recognition. Employees who feel their efforts go unnoticed are less likely to invest discretionary effort. Job insecurity. Layoffs, automation, and gig economy trends create a sense of disposability, reducing loyalty. Societal pressures. Beyond the workplace, broader societal factors contribute. Economic inequality. Millennials and Gen Z face financial challenges like student debt, unaffordable housing, and precarious job markets, diminishing the perceived rewards of hard work. Digital overload. Constant connectivity blurs the line between work and personal life, leading to exhaustion and boundary setting as a defense mechanism. Cultural shifts. The rise of social media and self-help movements has empowered younger generations to prioritize mental health and reject traditional expectations. Personal factors. Individual circumstances also play a role. Burnout history. Employees with prior experiences of overwork or trauma may adopt quiet quitting to avoid relapse. Value misalignment. Workers whose personal values, e.g., environmentalism, social justice, clash with their organization's practices may disengage. Life stage. Young professionals or parents may prioritize flexibility to accommodate personal responsibilities, leading to boundary setting. For employees, to navigate quiet quitting constructively, employees can communicate needs, openly discuss boundaries, workload, or dissatisfaction with managers to seek mutually beneficial solutions. Set intentional goals. Focus on meaningful tasks that align with personal values, fostering engagement without overextending. Invest in self-care. Prioritize mental and physical health through mindfulness, exercise, or therapy to sustain long-term resilience. Explore alternatives. If the workplace remains unfulfilling, consider transitioning to roles or industries that offer better alignment with personal goals. For employers, organizations can address quiet quitting by fostering supportive cultures, enhance hygiene factors, offer competitive salaries, clear policies, and job security to reduce dissatisfaction. Boost motivators. Provide recognition, opportunities for growth, and meaningful work to inspire engagement. Promote flexibility. Allow remote work, flexible hours, or compressed work weeks to accommodate diverse needs. Invest in leadership. Train managers to lead with empathy, foster trust, and address employee concerns proactively. Measure engagement. Conduct regular surveys to identify pain points and implement data-driven improvements. For society, at a societal level, addressing quiet quitting requires systemic change. Policy reform. Advocate for labor laws that protect work-life balance, such as paid leave, maximum work hours, or mental health support. Economic equity. Address wage stagnation, housing affordability, and education costs to restore faith in the social contract. Cultural dialogue. Encourage open conversations about work's role in life, bridging generational divides and redefining success. The tech industry. In Silicon Valley, where long hours and crunch culture are normalized, quiet quitting has gained traction among software engineers and designers. For example, a 2023 Reddit thread featured a programmer who limited their work to 40 hours per week after years of unpaid overtime, citing burnout and lack of recognition. This shift allowed them to pursue open-source projects and personal hobbies, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling career path. The gig economy. Gig workers, such as rideshare drivers or freelance creatives, often engage in quiet quitting by selectively accepting tasks that align with their financial goals. A 2022 study by Upwork found that 58% of gig workers prioritize flexibility over income, reflecting a broader trend of valuing autonomy over traditional work structures. The corporate world. In a Fortune 500 company, a marketing analyst named Sarah, anonymized, adopted quiet quitting after being repeatedly overlooked for promotions despite her extra efforts. By focusing on her core responsibilities and declining voluntary projects, she regained time for family and self-care. Her manager, initially frustrated, later implemented team-wide boundary policies, improving overall morale. These examples illustrate the diverse motivations and outcomes of quiet quitting, highlighting its complexity as both a personal and systemic phenomenon. A new social contract. Quiet quitting signals the need for a redefined relationship between employers and employees, one based on mutual respect, transparency, and shared value. As younger generations dominate the workforce, organizations must adapt to their priorities, such as flexibility, purpose, and mental health support. Technology's role. Advancements in automation and AI may exacerbate quiet quitting by increasing job insecurity or reducing the need for discretionary effort. However, technology can also enable solutions, such as productivity tools that streamline tasks or platforms that facilitate flexible work arrangements. A cultural shift. The rise of quiet quitting reflects a broader move toward human-centric values, where well-being, equity, and authenticity take precedence over profit and productivity. This shift could pave the way for innovative work models, such as 4-day workweeks or cooperative businesses that prioritize both individual and collective flourishing. Quiet quitting is neither a simple act of laziness nor a flawless path to empowerment. It is a complex response to a world in flux. For some, it's a survival strategy in the face of burnout and exploitation. For others, it's a conscious choice to redefine success on their own terms. By understanding the psychological, cultural, and systemic factors behind quiet quitting, we can move beyond judgment to address its root causes and harness its potential for positive change. As the modern workforce evolves, quiet quitting challenges us to rethink the meaning of work. It invites employees to advocate for their worth, employers to create supportive environments, and society to reimagine a future where work serves life, not the other way around. So, pause and reflect. Are you quietly quitting or quietly awakening? The answer may shape not only your career, but the world we build together. If quiet quitting resonates with you, take a moment to reflect on your own work experience. Are you setting boundaries to protect your well-being or disengaging due to dissatisfaction? Share your thoughts in the comments and join the conversation about the future of work. For more insights on workplace psychology, generational trends, and personal growth, subscribe to our channel. The journey to redefining work starts here, and you're not alone.